As my old keyboard player would say, greetings and salutations, Earthlings. Right? As we are on this 3D gravitational plane. Did you guys study geometry? Planes? You know, not planes, trains, and automobiles, but a plane. Not the rain in Spain falling mainly in the plain, but a plane. Plane. Homonyms. And that used to be a Jeopardy category. Anyway. I did a podcast for you guys. It did not turn out very well. Like, the information was great, but when I went back to listen to the replay after I published it, it is so muted, guys, even on the volume all the way turned up on my phone. So I don't know if it's better on earphones or anything. I did post that out to the community tab. Likely what's going to happen is I'm going to have to re-record it using some other option. So that was my first attempt using the specific podcasting app, you know, that I was using. I don't know, you know, if there's different ones that are better. Anyway, that was my first hurrah into doing that. And it looks like I'll have to do a little re-record, but I'm still gonna get that information out to you folks, okay? Eventually, right? But until then, we're doing a little relaxation right over here today. Okay. Let me get my beads. I got these down in last time I was in New Orleans at a shop there for some spiritual protection, right? Who can use a little bit of that? You know, angels among us, people witness miracles every day. If you're not a believer, maybe you have a higher power. Maybe you just believe in the good grace of humankind and existence, right? Hopefully that's why you're joining this channel. Because we're trying to worry about what we got ahead, right? So, sorry guys, I'm getting a little lost on which deck I should use today, but I think it's coming through. Maybe we'll go ahead and do the Ethereal Visions. I have not used this deck in a while. I will try to link again the Amazon hot links, okay? If you want to order any of the decks that I use, aside from obviously the personal Oracle cards that I've created. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to put that in an Oracle deck or how I'm going to use that, but the ones that are already created out here, you can order via Amazon. There's other places you can get tarot decks as well, such as when I was in the French Quarter, there was many shops down there that have tarot decks. A lot of times bookstores have them. The astrology calendars that I got this year, I both got those at Barnes and Noble. You know, so it just kind of depends on exactly what you're looking for. You should be able to find, give yourself some truth in the situation. And some people be like, oh, tarot cards are evil, you should stick to the Bible. Okay, well, we've all read the Bible. Okay, have you read any other books? You don't think God made more than just one book of information out there? Just saying. It's a thought, right? Lovers, what are you passionate about? What, you know, the Bible doesn't really explain, like, how to, get your pottery wheel working. You know what I mean? Sure, there's allegorical things and blah, 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 but you know what? You don't go to your preacher on Sunday asking him questions about your fucking pottery wheel. Do you? You know what I mean? You gotta go to your art teacher for that stuff. Okay, so, put it where it fits, right? Especially before you become a hating asshole. Hopping on other people's YouTube channels or just trying to help each other get through the day. Because we all know it's hard enough out there. And until y'all start believing the BS about we're all going to receive universal income, right, and all that shit, right, you might want to go out and get a job in the meantime. I'm just saying. It helps to have a backup. I'm just saying. I am literally proof positive. Ask a lot of people around. It is 100% good practice to have a backup. Okay. Some of y'all be like, my backup's God, my backup's JC. Good. You know what I mean? Because sometimes there ain't nobody else, right? You know, so yeah, you have to learn how to watch your own back, okay? But you know, I don't limit these messages to followers of Christianity. That's why it is more spiritual based, okay? Open to all genres of religion, if you will. Okay, there ain't no fucking holy war over here, so you can get the fuck off my channel. You think that motherfucker is gonna happen ever. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you ever see that movie Clueless? I thought they declared peace in the Middle East, right? I know, it's like the 90s all over again. Bill. You know, Bill and Hillary and our current president, Donald, were all like buddies at one time, right? Oh, yeah, they used to all hang out together. For the youngsters that didn't know that. There's still photos. There's still photos, right? There was probably some New York tabloid out there, wined and dined by the Don, right? You know, like Clinton's visit NYC, you know. Can you imagine the president giving you like a personal tour in one of those horse cabs, right? Horse carriages around Central Park. Wouldn't that be a hoot? Why did you fart? Who said that? Oh my God. This baseball team, is not baseball, it was like slow pitch softball, and one of the people on the team, that's what they put on their name. It said who farted. So you got to choose your name and your number. So that's what they put on the back of his shirt. Who farted? Oh, Hierophant. Smelt it, dealt it. Anyway. Right? Is that why those monks are so peaceful? They're just sitting there letting that gas go all the time. They're not holding it in. Right? Yeah. So follow social media and things of that nature, right? A lot of times people want to see things wrapped up in a little bow. Right? And that is not necessarily life. Life is sometimes messy. Like the podcast that I did record for you guys earlier, but the sound quality was so poor. I'm gonna see if I can like do something to tune the audio better, but I might have to end up just re-recording it. You know what I mean? You know, with wisdom comes knowledge, right? Sometimes that's trial and error. Sometimes it takes us back to like, so I'm gonna probably, if I re-record this, not use that app because the app kind of was stinky. And just record it straight to my phone, you know, using the regular audio. You know, I mean, sometimes the old school way becomes the best way, right? But we don't know that until we do trial and error. Now, you know, was all lost? No, because I have an entire 30-minute script of stuff that I shared with you guys, you know, that's really good information, right? So holding on to that, having faith in that, I feel is going to be a good move going forward. And especially as you, whatever this Aries spring season is that's coming, it's going to just put you in the right moment, I feel like. Okay. So, Hierophant is Taurus as well, which is, you know, Taurus is like when we are a fixed sign as well. For example, I was talking about fixed rate mortgages. Anyway. Now, let's see. What is crossing this Hierophant for the collective energy? Every cafe 445 loves minors. Like minor keys. What is that supposed to mean? Kind of gross. Right? Anyway. You never know who's going to be hopping in the chat today. Well, I'm sure Google might have something to say about that. Anyway, the lovers, Gemini. So, collective, for some of you, oh, also, I can't believe I forgot this. I wanted to show you guys my latest concert t-shirt that I got when I went to see the Warren Haynes band, and it has a nice little pocket, um, pocket area graphic. Okay, that's what I wanted to say. And then on the back, it has this nice owl. And oh my god! And then you guys look. So I can't even. This is about my investment wisely because I live within my means here, folks. Like that's a concert T-shirt, but I got my tickets like last minute on sale. You know what I mean? Sometimes people can't make it, and then they have to sell their tickets last minute. I live in town, so for me, it's a doable thing. Picking and choosing your lifestyle according to what your priorities and preferences are. But I gotta show you this other thing. Then I got this little guy. He's a lantern. Isn't he cute? This is an owl. And it even came with like a little, I wasn't gonna get it, and then it comes with like an extra little headlamp, and I was like, okay, they got me. You know what I mean? So it was within my shopping budget today. So I thought this would be fun to take camping, have a little owl watch. Oh my goodness. So again, collective, what was that about? Having your own back. Maybe the opportunity is going to come where there's somebody that's going to love what you're doing and they want to have your back in the situation. Okay. So that could be something that's starting to cross your path come springtime. Okay. What is in the foundation, please? My dog just keeps smacking her lips at me. Two. Yeah, what am I going to have tonight? Jerky or jerky? Two of Pentacles. So you may have a decision, collective, how much time you want to invest into this partnership, this relationship, especially if it does interfere with anything business related. I feel like you are definitely prioritizing. And kind of taking care of your creature comforts, right? Like I mentioned on my podcast today, I mentioned, there's people that are house poor, you know what I mean? They have these big fancy houses and then there's no furniture inside. They're sleeping just like on a bare mattress. It's like that's not really my thing. I like to work on my creature comforts a little bit more and with some tried and true things. It's maybe not about having the most square footage. Okay. So yeah, practical messages in tarot. I know, amazing, right? And again, somebody might see your plan and be like, oh yeah, I want to hop on that, right? Yeah, ride the pony. Yeah. You guys, when I was out driving, one of the nudie bars, they have a new name now. It's called the pony. Anyway, I had a giggle out of that. But it's like, yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, can't figure out what that means. I don't know what to. The Gentleman's Club is underneath the on the side there, but oh my goodness, that sounds like some old school stuff. I don't know if it's old school inside. I've never been inside. Anyway. I did when I was an Uber driver though. When it was called something else, I had to pick some clients up there, and well, it was funny because the clients, they were sharing an Uber, two men, One came out of the nudie bar, and the other one came out of just a regular bar that was right. They were like right next door to each other. And the guy that had come out of the nudie bar, like super chill, barely said like two words the whole ride. The guy that came out of the regular bar, trying to like hit on me. And it's just like, man, I wish that guy had come out of the nudie bar. You know what I'm saying? Like, he made me a little bit of an old chill on the fucking ride, bro. You know what I mean? Then he didn't even hardly tip me after that, all that freaking yakking. It's like, dude, I'm not your fucking therapist. You know what I mean? That's now I understand why they complain. You know, people, oh yeah, you get into an Uber in Chicago and they got the radio up so loud so they don't have to freaking talk to your ass, right? Especially if you're not gonna barely tip them. Like, come on, man. You know what I mean? Anyway. So, yeah, collective, I feel like you are weighing your possibilities and your opportunities. You're not taking them lightly. It is a fine, delicate balance, a fine dance. A Fine Balance is also the name of a book that I've read. It was very good. It's the book is based set in India, by the way, if you didn't know. It's a English novel. I don't know what nationality the author is. It was one of those Oprah Book Club things, you know what I mean? But it was like one of those that I started reading and I just couldn't, like, I was staying up later and later at night, like trying to read through the pages and stuff. So again, is a good story about people faced with choices, and maybe they weren't always the best options, but they were still trying to survive another day, and it's like, well, what are you gonna do? you know what they tell you when you're in school? They're like, oh yeah, well, what if you ended up on a desert island? Somebody like, oh, I just die. Oh, would you? Or you end up like that Tom Hanks guy, grunting to the volleyball and maybe some, oh my God. You know what I mean? You see the big ship liner. But actually, he saw it from a distance. Remember that? He knew there was hope out there. He saw the signal. Okay, saw the signal and decided to take that opportunity, right? Because it wasn't until he built that raft and decided, he was like, okay, I've been on this little island long enough. I'm at peace with myself, and now we're just gonna go for it. Right? Sometimes that's what happens in life. Again, so maybe you've lost a job. Maybe you've moved schools and it's like you don't know anybody, like trying to make friends with new people, or maybe it's just like you're going from like high school to college, you know what I mean? And it's, yeah, sometimes things are different, but that doesn't mean you're not going to go after those dreams, those goals, those priorities, right? It's just going to look a little different moving ahead, okay? And before anybody wants to get on here and fucking harass me about, oh well, trade schools too. Yeah, I'm including that. Okay, but that doesn't mean every fucking trade school or every opportunity is going to be in your goddamn backyard. Sometimes you got to go out there and fish around a little bit, right? So again, until Elon skybombs us each $1 million, right? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? The irony was not lost on me yesterday when I was standing in line at Joann Fabrics and there was only one cashier. Well, the place is closing. Who am I to complain about there only being one cashier? Right? Which I was very disappointed to hear that news about Joann Fabrics closing, but I guess they didn't find a buyer for their company for a buyout, so they're closing all their stores. Yeah. 7 swords. So yeah, it could be one of those things, collective, where you felt like it was going well, and then all of a sudden it's like there's this change up, and you're just like, what? And this could have been up to 5 people. where that could have concealed information from you. Okay. And when I say that too, I mean, so put that theoretic, in a larger spectrum. Be like, well, I'm not in meetings with that boss and that boss. Exactly. Right. And sometimes then it's like, okay, we're gonna decide over here, right? And then we're gonna disseminate the information out to everybody else, right? But that doesn't mean it feels good, right? I could sit up here and be like, oh, well, love and light, and that just means you have a new opportunity. Well, yeah, that, sure, right? But there might be some other things that happen in the, right? Okay. I'm not, that spiritual bypassing was one of my number one concerns before doing anything on the internet in terms of helping, coaching, guiding folks. Because there's real work that you have to do in life. It's just how it is. People want to complain about Beyonce and this and that. Well, she's been shaking her freaking booty off since she was 10 freaking years old, working on those goddamn routines. Should she not be able to enjoy something after a while, after providing years and years of entertainment to all of us? Right? Well, no, it's easier to sit here and complain. Yeah, where's mine? Right? Anyway. So here's the thing too, collective, is I feel like perhaps some of these people, it's like they were okay concealing it, like, from you when it was benefiting them, right? Now that it's no longer benefiting them, it's like now they want to feel bad about it or something. And in the meantime, you're going to have this opportunity here. And when I say opportunity, I really do mean an opportunity. Okay. Somebody that wants to work alongside you. Some of you could be like, look, I'm not ready for that, or I don't know if I want to be ready for that. And that's fine. That may not be your message today, right? So, that might not be part of this overall message for you. Okay. But if you've experienced some of these other situations, yeah, maybe that applies. All right, take what resonates. That's kind of how tarot works. That's how any conversation works. Not everything is about everybody all the time. All right, we have more than one type of seasoning. We got salt and pepper, right? And the Blues Brothers, she's like, yeah, we like both kinds of music, country and western, right? Okay. And collective, what I see here is that even what they've tried to gather from you, they still cannot carry it all. Even though there's 7 swords here, they can only manage to pick up 5. It's that much. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Kind of like when Tina Turner and that, in the movie, and Angela Bassett has sit in court there, and she's like, "I just want my name," you know. It's like, I made you. I'm not. I'm not. Right. Yeah, he had to leave. He tried to take. She was like, you can have all the rights, you can have all the money, you can have all the houses, you can have all of that fucking shit. Guess who lived longer, right? Guess who went on to have a successful career, right? She laid that out, and the judgment came to her. She got what she needed, and then what, right? And then they say they were, she was shaking down the goddamn Ramada. You know what I mean? Right? But you know what? She wasn't like, I'm not playing here. I'm not playing. Right? One doing that. Okay. So yeah, sometimes things don't work out. We got to work a little bit. Right? I think I brought that up in my reading the other day. I was complaining to my dad once about something, and then he's like, well, if you just put in a little bit of effort. And I was like, like, that's not what I effing wanted to hear at that moment. You know what I mean? But sometimes that might be what you need to hear. Four of Swords. Okay. So, yeah. Make room for what you need to hear. Okay. The Four of Swords is about rest. Times of rest. Even going on a little vacation, or maybe just going on a rest from, like the Lenten season is coming up. A lot of people do social media cleanses during that time, things of that nature. I understand we live in a digital world, right? But that doesn't mean we can't still provide ourselves with self-care. Okay, and that should literally be at the top of your list if it's not yet. Okay, when you think spring, right, what do you think? You think fresh air, spring cleaning, fresh sheets, maybe being able to hang your laundry outside, the grass starting to grow, the green things anew. Okay, but if you're all wrapped up in things of the past, right, then you're not necessarily resting, okay, and allowing those new seeds to get planted through as needed. Okay, so if you're not actively doing that yet, think about it. Okay, think about it. Thousand plants. I would only be paid to do impressions. Oh my God, that was it. Not gonna do it. No new taxes. Dana Carvey. I mean, I don't need to compete with Dana Carvey, right? Oh my goodness. Wanted to come out in reverse. The Eight of Swords. Interesting. So I feel like whoever withheld this from you in the Seven of Swords, it's like they want you to be all wrapped up and confused about what happened or this and that, thinking you have no control in the situation, but the opposite is actually true, and that is why this came out in the reverse. Okay? If you've been following me for a while, you know I do not mix my cards in reverse, but I do the energy because I'm an energy reader. Okay? If you don't like the way I read tarot, you can find another channel. Right? Boo-hoo. Go find somebody else, right? Like, this is a free reading, folks. Remember that. Okay. If you are in the chat today, please do be kind to your neighbor. Please do like the video as well. Consider subscribing. You do not have to be a subscriber in order to like the video or watch the video, okay? You can also leave a comment without being a subscriber. So let's see how the collective is feeling about this, because we see what they want and we see what is meant for you in the middle. This is like, wow. I almost feel like collective, what this past and future is saying here, it's like people don't want you to see that you have this lovely opportunity right in front of you. Simple as that. Simple as that. Well, no, you don't want that cable. You want the new improved cable. Right? Well, what's so improved about it? Well, it comes in a different color. Is there anything else different about it? Well, it's new. Right? How long can they hold out on SNL until they're like, right? We got us another one. Right. Some people aren't for sale. Some people will never get that through their fucking skulls that people are not for sale. Sure, you trade your time for money, right? For survival and thriving, right? If we're lucky. But the individual soul itself, so no matter what they got, you thinking or want you to think, where did you start out at? High Priest, Hierophant? You know, it's kind of like, oh yeah, you don't want your grandma's biscuit recipe. No, you want the new improved biscuit. You're like, but I like grandma's biscuit recipe. You know, you're like, no, but we got to do the new one. You know, and then you try, and it's just like, yeah. Some things are just better the way they were, right? Ain't nothing wrong with that, right? It's the spirit of us now putting it into play that makes it special, right? All right. Again, how is the collective feeling about this? So we are doing a Celtic cross today, so this is running a little bit long. Four of Pentacles. Some of you may feel stifled, especially when it comes to business opportunities. You could just be saving, right? Taurus is a sign that likes nice things, right? Enjoys nice things, likes the finer things in life. Doesn't necessarily overspend, I would say, when Taurus is in the upright. So if you are somebody that has had challenges while saving, this may be a message for you. Maybe you need to think about what you are actually saving for, okay? So you change the mindset of just, money in, money out, right? It's like, okay, what is the flow that we're trying to get into here? Okay. Whew. The environment now, the Nine of Cups. So I feel like collectively, what you do have is support, not only from yourself, feeling pretty secure, like maybe not being in this partnership, right? Others may also see you that way. So they may be surprised when you turn up in a partnership, right? And be like, oh, I thought you just are just always by yourself, always just had it together, blah, blah, blah. Okay, entering into a partnership doesn't mean you don't have it together. Now, there are some people that want you to think that if you are not with so-and-so, or if they aren't working with you, or you're all of a sudden you're going to be in the bell jar, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, you guys ever see Seinfeld, that TV show? Leonard George is like, the sea was angry that day, my friend. And they're always, and they're always gathering together at that little, diner, right? Um, but the character on Seinfeld, like he's some big time comedian, right? You know what I mean? They're even like writing a pilot. He's got an apartment in New York City, but they always go back to that diner. You know what I mean? Sometimes, again, going back to the tried and true. Simple is good. Okay? Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Oh yeah, well, have you had this? Have you had this? Have you had this? Okay. Have you tried to ever make that? Have you ever tried to make basics? Okay. Yeah, it's all fun and games until you even try and start accomplishing some of this stuff ourselves, and then we realize what we're asking of other people in expectation land, right? So again, before you get all, saying, well, I'm gonna have this and I'm gonna have that and blah 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 blah, think about maybe what is more required of the situation. Okay? And if you have what's required, right? Love, shelter, you know what I mean? Things like that. Um, then yes, you can let yourself rest and then uh prepare yourself for success the next day and the next day and the next day, right? By focusing on those small building blocks, right? Okay. Those carbon building blocks over time that then get into the diamond, all right? Doesn't happen overnight, right? That's what science can tell us, unless you're putting chemicals together in the Bunsen burner, all right? Then you're forcing things. Mm-hmm. In the hopes and fears, the Knight of Wands, somebody could be concerned that you're going to get swept away by a romantic partner. And I mean, yes, it is very possible because you have the Lover's card came out here. All right. This could also be somebody concerned if you're in a partnership. I'm getting more singles from this, but if you are in a partnership, I feel like somebody is a little bit concerned about your exposure to other people. Be like, well, I don't want you out around so and so and so and so because they're going to be flirting with you, or yeah, all that kind of garbage, right? Again, I'll go back to when I was driving Uber and I picked the guys up outside the bar and the titty bar. The guy that came out of the titty bar was way cooler and less invasive, all right, than the guy that came out of the regular bar. Just like, so sometimes people get all these things worked up in their head, right? Versus when you actually go out and experience it, right? Okay. And then it puts us on, what was I talking about earlier? That plane, Plane. You ever hear the term plain Jane? Again, plain spelled differently in that sense. Um, some of you could have been called plain Janes or things like of that nature. Maybe you're not overly into adorning yourself materially or by things. Like this one gal I worked with, like her engagement ring was kind of a non-traditional stone, and I thought it was very, very nice. You know what I mean? And it suited her and her personality, and even like her skin tone and stuff. You know what I mean? It just seemed like the right match, right? So, just because there's somebody out there trying to strike their match on you, don't mean that that's fire is actually gonna get lit because, you know, like one of the last times I actually had to take an Uber because I needed to go make a pickup. The guy was telling me about somebody who was hitting on him while he was driving, and he had to tell the lady like, hey, I'm married, and she was like, oh, that doesn't matter. And I was like, oh my god, dude. I was like, what'd you say? He's like, no, I just can't. And he said he like kept, yeah, there will be some people like that out there, right? But which I told him, I'm like, hey, did you report that to Uber, like, or give, like, you got that in the rating, be like, hey, which, unfortunately, I've not exactly taken. I mean, I've had drunk men literally fall out of the Uber before, still trying to be like, hey, they're laying on the ground and they're like, hey, you want to come inside? It's like, dude, I'm like, I have to go pick up my next ride, bro. you know, it's like, And you want a universal basic income to do what? Give me a break. Give me a break. Figure out the bus route, fucko. Okay. Yeah, a full card. I feel like you guys have just been setting out on your own journey. You're not consulting anybody. You're not getting the consensus. That was one thing that kind of drove me crazy. Working in the corporate world, you have to consensus with people a lot. It's a lot of group think, a lot of group mentality. And that's all fine and dandy, but at the same time, collective, what your possibilities are should not be limited by those around you, right? So you need to make that choice for yourself on how you want to either stay or remove yourself potentially from limiting people, limiting situations. Okay. So you can be like, well, maybe you're saving your money, maybe you're paying some maybe that dead end job is gonna uh, help you network with so and so, or you're gonna meet so and so, or you're gonna then have an idea to start your own business and you're gonna be a fucking millionaire. You know what I'm saying? Hey, why not? Why not? Why? Because Smoky Pokey that's sitting on their ass, never gonna do nothing, wants you to be sitting there with them. Okay. You don't know unless you try. Okay. I mean, how many people in the last 5 years never thought they were going to make sourdough bread, and look at what they've done. All right. Every journey starts with that single step. I can give you 1,000 reasons why not, right? Okay. Justice, Libra. So yeah, things coming into balance for the collective. Another air sign, with this Gemini lovers here. So I feel like collective, there might be something clearing the air here. At least you are, in terms of, your goals and things of that nature. Leaving behind betrayals. Um, you and yeah, it's just um yeah, everybody has to go through things at their own pace. Every generation has their own speed, right? Sometimes we feel like we're out of this or into that or whatever. When I was out doing errands earlier today, I was just had this kind of nice Gen Xer feeling. You know what I mean? Yeah, did we have the Cold War going on growing up, but we weren't like actively fighting each other, right? You know what I mean? Like, as I've said before, sometimes the how isn't as important as then when you finally understand the why, or, the end result. And, if you're able to get peace, are you gonna really, you want to complain about it now too? Or can you just say, thank you, God? Something worked out, right? Because Lord knows we got enough things that don't work out. So sometimes those tried and true things that we go back to, will help us, right? That's why everybody hates seeing the, well, how do you stay healthy? Diet and exercise, right? Well, okay, but make that fit for you, right? Me personally, walks with the dog. I don't like going and running. I did enough running in high school. You know, your life plan can be as individually tailored, literally, as you are. You know, the permutations, right? The computations on permutations are probably endless. Infinitesimal. Anyway, until we are stardust, right? Maybe when when we hit the other side, then we can really get into the things that our little pea brains here on earth weren't able to understand, right? Until the end of time. Okay. So do you remember the time when we fell in love? Do you remember the time we first met, girl? All right. I was kind of grooving on that yesterday, so it was coming through again today. So maybe somebody out there is a Michael Jackson fan. You know, grooving with my baby to some MJ, right? Maybe some Mary Jane MJ. Right? Like the you guys seen that was that How High? The Dave Chappelle movie about, him and his buddies and, you know. Anyway. Until next time, please do manifest wisely. Bye bye. Oh, missed the child for review. Guess we'll never know.